Let me talk to the men out there listening real quick. Guys, are you suffering from erectile dysfunction, fatigue, decreased muscle tone, lack of energy, low libido, brain fog, sleep disturbances? Hey, low libido, ask your girlfriend or wife. She'll let you know if you're suffering from that or not. That's sex drive. If you'll text my name, Clay, in all caps to 601-327-8550, 601-327-8550, Men's Health of Mississippi and the Clay Edwards Show are going to hook you up with a free testosterone screening. They're located in Madison, Mississippi at 120 Fountains Boulevard. You can check them out online, menshealthms.com. But one more time, text my name, all caps, Clay, to 601-327-8550 and get your free testosterone screening scheduled today. Enjoy the rest of this show. All right, you've tuned in to the free-range human show of choice, your daily dose of reality radio. I left off the boom, shakalaka boom, so there's your boom, shakalaka boom. It is a Monday morning here on 103.9 FM WYAB. In the studio with me this morning, we got a couple special guests. We're going to be doing a Second Amendment roundtable, so to say. I tell you all the time, I'm not necessarily a gun guy. I'm just a guy that owns guns, but I got two gun guys in here this morning. First, sitting directly across from me, we got Mr. Hunter Sartain. Is it Sartain or Sartain? Sartain. Sorry, your mic wasn't on. Sartain?
Yeah, Sartain.
Hunter Sartain, owner of Guns and Gear right there in Gluckstadt, sponsor of the Guns and Gear text line. Hunter, glad to have you on board. We also got my old buddy, Mr. Tyler Tharp. He is the owner and lead instructor at Synergy Training Group, which obviously kind of speaks for itself there. Does firearm safety training and firearm training.
Performance and defensive. Yep.
Good stuff. Well, guys, we got a big show today. We're going to be answering people's questions and talking about a few topics ourselves. A lot of stuff in the news lately about buying guns illegally. Certain boxes that were checked on a particular form by a alleged crackhead and other stuff. So look, here's the deal. Guys, if y'all got any Second Amendment questions, and if you don't know, Second Amendment's your gun rights. If you got any pew-pew gun questions out there, feel free to reach out. Let's talk about it this morning. Ask the guys anything within reason. If one of them can't figure it out, the other one will.
That's true.
Maybe I've got Google in front of me, so I don't know. Google. Maybe I need to go to DuckDuckGo. But we're going to have a good conversation today. I'm excited about it. We had this plan for last week, and I had to move my schedule around because of another guest. But we are here this week. We're live. We're ready to go. The Mazda of Jackson phone line, if you want to call in, is 601-879-0002. The previously mentioned Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Before we jump into that, let the guys tell them a little bit about yourselves. Hunter, let's start with you, man. Tell us about Guns and Gear. Tell us about yourself. How long have you been doing this?
Yeah. I've been in the gun industry, I guess, for right at 12 years now. Had a storefront at our current location, 1716 Highway 51, since 2016. So we're looking at 8 years, and it goes by quite fast.
It does, man. I spent 12 in the car business, and, there's times where there's days where you were like watching paint dry, but then you blink, and it's like, damn, 12 years already.
Yeah, it goes by fast.
Now, how'd you get into all of it?
Actually, it was an old buddy of mine that my previous life, I was a paramedic for 14 years, and my first partner on the ambulance got me into it, got me into guns. I grew up hunting and everything and had guns, but he really instilled the gun bug in me, and I started looking at doing it back in 2012. Well, that's when I got my first license, and just kind of went uphill from there.
And you've been at the current location there in Gluckstadt for how long?
8 years.
8 years. Now, did you used to go to set up at gun shows and do the traveling stuff and any of that?
I have not. I feel, my personal opinion, that our retail location is good enough to not have to go to a gun show, and I don't want to have my customers having to pay an entry fee to get in and see me. It's free to come to Guns and Gear, and you get 7% sales tax on that 8.
Oh, there's an extra sales tax at the gun show. I
In
didn't realize
Jackson,
that.
there is.
Yeah.
Because the 8% sales tax.
That's right. Yeah, the special tax there.
Didn't they ban gun shows in Jackson like that? The next one's in Pearl. Like they don't even allow them in Jackson anymore.
Well, they're still allowed at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, there was one.
State.
There was one
Yeah.
2 weeks ago. I can always tell when there's a gun show because we'll have to get into this more in a little bit. But every Tuesday when we open, because we're closed Monday, every Tuesday when we open after a gun show, you can always count like 5 or 6 people are going to come in with a broken gun they just acquired from a gun show. Because people know gun shows are known for that is the place to go to shuck your unwanted broken stuff.
That's
Interesting. I've never bought a gun at a gun show. I will go. I support local brick and mortar buildings, but I do like to go around and kind of kick the tires, and I like being around the people. It's obviously usually a Clay Edwards show audience.
That's true.
That's true. It's a great place to go meet like-minded individuals. Youep.
If
it's, you're looking to start a militia or anything, a gun show is a great place to start your recruiting. I'm kidding, FBI. I'm not starting a militia. Hey, look, man, we've had this conversation at nauseum. Hunter, I wanted to ask you this. We talked about this not too long ago. Heck, you were texting me while we were talking about it. The so-called gun show loophole. What is that?
So a lot of people will say, "Oh, there's no gun show loophole. There's no gun show loophole." Well,
I say there is.
There is. It is the people walking around in the United States. It's legal to do a face-to-face transfer as long as you don't suspect anybody. The other person that you're selling or buying from is a felon, and you can get their driver's license info or something like that, but that still didn't tell you if they're a felon or not. But
and it still falls back on you if you sell a gun to a felon, right?
If you knowingly sell one, if you don't know, you don't know.
Well, but that's kind of a gray area there. Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, it is. But at a gun show, anybody can have a booth, and I've walked around at a gun show before and seen a table that says no background checks, and that's all right to be able to sell guns without having to do all of that stuff because this is America and it's perfectly legal. But that is where a lot of people do get guns. Anybody that's been to a gun show in Jackson knows what I'm talking about. They've seen it.
Sure.
But it's perfectly legal.
Is that what you're buying from a private
individual,
collection, whatever you want to call it? That's interesting because I'm a Second Amendment absolutist as much as you can be. So I kind of look at it as it's kind of the price you pay to play the game of having the absoluteness of the Second Amendment. But I have often said that if you were going to force gun control, common sense gun laws on anybody, the common sense one, the low hanging fruit one to me, is require all person-to-person sales go through somebody with a gun license to do the background check.
Right, yeah. And unfortunately, the only thing that does is hurt the law-abiding citizens like ourselves because
time and money. And
it's illegal to sell cocaine, but yet there's people doing it every day on the street.
Yeah.
So the illegal gun sales will continue to go no matter what.
Yeah.
They sell it in government buildings, too.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, so like I said, I do you can avoid all that. Let me say that you can avoid all that by going out to Guns and Gear or your favorite local gun store and supporting those guys. Hunter, you guys buy guns, you sell pre-owned guns. I mean, you're way more than just a retail gun store, right?
Oh yeah. We used to before the Great Left took our Facebook page on December 27th. 2023, which was a horrible day for me.
Belated Christmas gift.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Hunter. We're going to take your Facebook of 18,000 followers that you built over 8 years and
throw it in the trash.
Yeah, throw it in the trash. So I'm up to where I used to make a post, man, and within 12 hours it'd have 6,500 impressions. Whereas now on our new page that's named G&G, that's apparently shadow banned too, and it's hard to find. After make a post in 12 hours, it'll have 55 impressions.
Yeah, I tried to tag it last night. It wouldn't even come up for me to tag.
Yeah, it can be tricky.
I had to go find it.
Yeah. So, man, look, I too have dealt with the big meta shadow ban. and outright taking of my page. The original Save Jackson page was up to 50,000 followers. I posted a picture of Kyle Rittenhouse the day he got acquitted, holding the gun, like the aftermath.
Yep.
I mean, they just zapped the whole damn account. There was no questions asked. It was nothing. Boop, done. That's it. They didn't let me get it back. And it didn't just zap that page. It zapped my personal page. And with it, everything went down.
And that's exactly how they're going to control us. It's not one day they're going to up and say you no longer have rights. They're just going to keep suppressing every bit of convenience that we currently have, and to the point where owning a gun and enjoying our Second Amendment right is super inconvenient.
Yep. Let's take a call real quick on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Good morning. Hey, I've got an idea for you. Just curious. Why don't you read the Second Amendment online? We always talk about the Second Amendment, but nobody ever reads it. I read it. I don't have it handy on me, but it would be interesting to hear your comments on it.
I've got one hanging up in here. It's like in a fire. It's in a break in case of emergency, like a fire extinguisher kit.
Oh, that's cool.
So maybe we'll break it open and see if we can't read it. All right,
buddy. This is just an idea I have. It'd be interesting. We always talk about the Second Amendment, but a lot of people have never heard it. You understand?
Yeah, so, not a bad idea. We'll take a look at it. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's take a break. When we come back, I want to introduce Tyler, get him to tell you about his background a little bit. Again, all questions on the table, man. You guys want to talk any gun stuff. We're here this morning for 2 hours. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I got Tyler Tharp. I've got Hunter Sartain. We're doing gun stuff. Heck, we might as well go ahead and make this segment brought to you by Guns and Gear. Been trying to get Tyler in here. Not Tyler, I'm sorry, with Tyler too. Been trying to get Hunter in here for a couple of years now to chop it up. Be sure to get out there, visit them on Highway 51 North in Gluckstadt. If you're going north, it's right there on the right at Yandale Road, right in that little shopping center there next to the barbecue joint. You can't miss it. There's been multiple barbecue joints there, but Guns and Gear has remained the same. So get by there, see them, buy a gun, buy some accessories, get some freedom seeds. And look, they always are there to buy your gun too. There's no sense in having to go into a seedy area of town to a pawn shop or any of that when you can go right there to Guns and Gear, let them buy your gun. And Hunter, I assume you take guns as trade-ins as well, right?
We do. Yeah, we take trade-ins.
All right. They got you covered on all your Cerakoting and gunsmithing needs too, done right. Right out there at Guns and Gear. Shop them online, gunsandgearms.com. We'll be right back here on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment brought to you by our friends at Parlor 1886, now open on Mondays right in downtown Flora, Mississippi. Parlor 1886, located on Main Street. Parlor 1886 is Flora's living room. Guys, get by and check it out. I went by there a week or so ago, sat down, had a cold drink, just enjoyed the atmosphere. It's more than just a restaurant and a bar. It's a hangout spot. Whether you're looking to grab drinks, watch the game, or just chill with friends, Parlor 1886 is going to be the perfect place for you, and they're now open on Mondays. Swing by. Make yourself at home at Parlor 1886 on Main Street in downtown Flora. Man, it's a really, really swanky-looking little bar they've got there, a little chill spot, whatever you want to call it. Food's good, nice, roomy. They got the couches to sit on. They got the high-top pub tables, if that's your thing. But they got the brand-new, fully built-out bar, full liquor, beer, flat-screen TVs all over the place, live entertainment. It is a really, really cool spot, and Flora's lucky to have it. So get by there, check them out. Follow them on Facebook at Parlor 1886. Here in the studio with me, I've got Hunter Sartain with Guns and Gear. He's the boss man over there. And I've got Tyler Tharp, owner and lead instructor at Synergy Training Group. We left off, I was going to introduce Tyler. Tyler, tell folks about yourself, what you do, what makes you a gun guy. Oh, crap. I'm sorry. Your mic wasn't on. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, so been in the business since about 2018. Was very fortunate to mentor under a national level competitor and LE and military special ops tactics instructor. So learned everything I could learn from that, and then started doing my own thing. Went and took some classes from a bunch of other national level guys, and just basically put all of it that I like together in my own way and redeliver it in my own way. Let's see, I actually created Synergy in 2020 and rebranded in last year to Training Group because I do more than just shooting stuff now. Big focus right now is trying to gain LE, advanced training contracts. So beyond the fundamentals, beyond the
LE?
Law enforcement.
Okay.
Yep. So looking for department contacts, help them transition to electro-optic equipped pistols because that's the future. If people are still shooting with irons on their gun in a defensive or any sort of professional manner, they're kind of behind the power curve at this point. So just looking to help the people that want more than just good enough.
Yep. Somebody texted in a second ago on the aforementioned Guns and Gear text line, and we got a couple questions here. I'm kind of getting out of order, so bear with me.
All good.
This it's not as easy as just open up a text. It's an app, and it resets every time I do it. But Debbie asked this question. She says, Clay, would you get them to talk about why there has been such a shortage on ammunition and how it's going to get worse? I guess, Hunter, would that be is there a shortage on ammo right now? I felt like we were in a good place on that right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now we're in a pretty good place on ammo. Unfortunately, I mean, prices are still not what they were pre-COVID, but they're pretty good right now, I feel. But I mean, it was good right up until March or April of 2020 when they, kill the curve or whatever, shut down for 2 weeks, and that's all it took. The manufacturer shutting down,
screw the supply chain up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then the George Floyd thing happened, and it was just.
Everybody wants ammunition because they're like,
oh yeah, it blew up.
Like, try that in a small town.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's take some more questions here. Unknown texter. Sometimes private gun show sales are the only places gun guys can find the guns they like the most. Some of us don't really care for plastic guns. Does that resonate at all with you?
Yeah, well, you might be shopping at the wrong place. I assume by saying that you like steel and wood, old Winchesters, 1911s.
Line up with the mic.
Oh, old Winchesters, lever guns, 1911s, stuff like that. Military surplus. Well, we don't see as much military surplus as we used to pre-COVID. We have a lot of old stuff as well. We buy estates. The last estate I bought, I think, had 70 firearms in it, and out of all of those, there was 2 plastic guns, 2 Glocks. Everything else was either single-action Armies, 1911s, or all old Winchesters and Marlins and stuff like that.
All right, so this is just my ignorance speaking here. I don't know. There's plastic guns? I mean, I know
they're talking about polymer framed, like a Glock. The frame is polymer.
Okay,
that's what they're talking about.
Gotcha. I know my AR-15 has got like a plastic dust cover, but hard to fathom. But I guess they can 3D print guns now, and it's kind of the same thing, I assume.
They're fragile, but yeah.
Interesting. Run through a couple more questions here. Somebody wants to know: do you have a FDE Glock 43X in stock?
No, I have a black 43X in stock, and for a low price, I can Cerakote it and make it whatever color you want.
All right, so you heard them there. Let's see here. Unknown texture. What is the ruling on advanced concealed carry permit holders on college campuses, specifically attending sporting events? Tyler, I feel like this is a question for you.
Yep. So it's simple, but it's not. They can ask you to leave, and they more than likely will. Even though it's technically your constitutional right, so they can't press any sort of criminal charges on you, but they can ask you to leave, and if you refuse to leave, they can press trespassing charges on you. Even with enhanced carry permits, you got to realize you're at the mercy of whoever's in charge of the venue. It's a lot like the amphitheater as well. It is 100% your constitutional right to go in there with a gun on you, but good luck. You're not going to. They're not going to let you. They're just going to give you a big middle finger because they don't care about your rights.
Very true. Very true. We've had this conversation, and it is. I'm conflicted on it, having been a former venue owner of somewhere that sold alcohol and hosted concerts, and I just know I could play it out in my head a little bit. what happens if you get too much drunk and too much gun in the same thing. So I get the safety side of it, but I don't like having to put my safety in somebody else's hands.
100%.
You got let's just say 20 cops out there for 8,000 people, and there's more cops. I'm just picking a number. Even if you round that up to 100 cops for 8,000 people, if those 8,000 people decide they want to take the thing over, they're going to take the thing over. Let's see here. Another question, Tyler. This is probably going to be for you. It says, if you were legally able to own a gun, can you legally carry concealed without a permit?
Yeah, 100%. Mississippi is a constitutional carry state. So as long as you're of at least 21 years of age and not a prohibited person, that is anyone that is a felon or convicted of a domestic violence charge or a habitual user of drugs or alcohol, as long as you meet all those requirements, you can carry on your person concealed, in your vehicle concealed. Like you can literally take a Derringer and throw it up your rear end and you're fine. You're totally okay to do it.
All right. Well, so what is the difference in an enhanced? I mean, I'm almost like having a hard time justifying getting an enhanced concealed when we're already a constitutional concealed state. I mean, so what are the perks of getting an enhanced? And there's also extra training required for that you offer, correct?
Yes, I actually only have one of those classes left this year. Then I'm no longer doing them. Moving on to bigger things. So the enhanced endorsement, the IC sticker, it used to be a sticker they just threw on the back of it. Now it's actually printed on as an endorsement. It stands for instructor certified. What that means is you went and took an 8-hour class from a state approved instructor and you either received the NRA or the USCCA curriculum. It's a super bare minimum standards thing. Like they don't even let you draw from the holster on the shooting portion of it. But what that does is that alleviates almost all the restrictions that your constitutional carry right has on it. So even though we're a constitutional carry state, you still can't carry in churches, any establishment that sells alcohol. You can't, technically, you're not even supposed to have a gun on you on Natchez Parkway. School campuses, there's a bunch of restrictions. Once you get the enhanced carry permit, so you take the class, you take the certificate up to the DPS, and they review it, and they put the endorsement on your firearms permit. All those restrictions are alleviated with the exception of 3. That's going to be places of nuisance, which is old verbiage of places that sell alcohol and sex, basically.
Bars, strip clubs.
Drugs and all that. Yep. Yeah. And then federal buildings and active courtrooms. So legally, you can carry after that anywhere except for those 3. But again, you're at the mercy of whoever's not going to let you in the door.
Interesting. And I'm guessing there's been lawsuits over this.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going against the government, so good luck.
Yeah.
And if you win, they're gonna take it on the chin and rewrite the law so that they can't lose at it again.
All right, let's do this. We're gonna come back, man. We got a few topics we actually want to hit today, man. But the text line and the phone line are wide open, man. You guys usually come up with the best questions. The Guns and Gear text line 769-241-1944. The Mazda of Jackson phone line 601-879-0002. Speaking of Mazda of Jackson, guys, get out there today. Test drive the CX-9. Go see my buddy Grady over there today, right there between Briarwood and Northside in the old Mercedes-Benz location. You know where I'm talking about. Right there on 55. Been a dealership forever. Right over by Electric City, Cowboy Maloney's, all that stuff. So easy to find. Great folks. When you break bread with Mazda Jackson, you're going to meet the owner. It's a married couple right there, the Carr family. They actually sit on the sales desk. I love small businesses. I can't express that enough. Mm-hmm. They sit on the sales desk. They work every deal. And then when you buy, you get one of their phone numbers. So if you have any problems, any issues, you don't have to try to go through the salesperson and then them go through a manager, then them talk to the general manager, then them talk to the owner. You have a direct line of communication with the owner for any questions or concerns you have. And I can't tell you after 12 years in the car business just how dang important that is. And I was thoroughly impressed. Like, there was a shocked look on my face when I found out they did that, because most ownership groups try to put a lot of space between them and the retail customer, not at Mazda of Jackson. And that's how you do great business. You're also going to get a free limited lifetime powertrain warranty with your purchase and a 43-inch flat screen TV. So get by there, see them today. Check them out online, MazdaofJackson.com. We'll be right back with Tyler Tharp and Hunter Sartain here on the Second Amendment Roundtable edition of the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM WYAB. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over at Boykin Contractors, located there in Florence, Mississippi. Boykin will do construction, roofing, remodeling, additions, repair, and they work all over the metro area. Just give them a call today. Lots of satisfied repeat customers. It's a Christ-centered company. They operate with honesty and integrity, and in a world full of bad people, that is a good thing. It really is. Used to be companies weren't afraid to wear their religion on their shoulder as a badge of honor. Now so many people try to hide it. So when you get a company that isn't afraid to put it out there, it just seems to mean a little bit more nowadays. Look, Bryce is also licensed, bonded, and insured with the Mississippi Board of Contractors. That's very important nowadays after they changed some laws down there at the Capitol as far as like what your insurance will and won't cover based on the size of the job and them having to be a licensed, bonded, and insured contractor. Boykin's got you covered. You won't have to worry about any of that stuff. Give them a call today, 601-951-7336. Or what's probably easier to do is just go to Google or Facebook and type in Boykin, Boykin Contractors in Florence, Mississippi. Get that deck built today. It ain't too late to enjoy it this summer and fall. All right. Here in the studio with me, we got Hunter Sartain, owner of Guns and Gear, and Tyler Tharp, owner of Synergy Training Group. Am I saying it right?
That's it.
It's got Synergy Training Group, which he does firearm training for folks. So, guys, we got more questions from the audience, but let's jump into one of our topics.
Okay.
So, we were talking about Facebook earlier and the struggles we've had over there. I've had very similar struggles with YouTube over the years. Them going back and changing their community guidelines. What's allowed today may not be allowed in a week, and it's up to you to go back and find your videos and self-police yourself. Well, when you like me, for instance, you put up 10 hours, and that's just this radio show. That don't even count my other videos, live streams, etc. 10 hours of video a day. Man, it's hard to go back and remember what you talked about 3 years ago. But their AI is constantly running, looking for stuff, whether it's election talk, COVID talk, gun talk.
Mm-hmm.
Now, so I'm trying to be a good citizen, and a good brown shirt, and self-censor myself a little bit so I can monetize it to the potential that I can. At the end of the day, this is a job. So anyway, I was looking at the updated community guidelines on YouTube the other day, and it's a firearms policy. It just kind of landed in our lap because I knew we were having this. I'm like, well, this is mighty convenient. So starting on June 18th, which is next week, certain content showing how to remove safety devices will be prohibited.
Yeah. Content
showing the use of homemade firearms, automatic firearms, and certain firearm accessories will be age restricted. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. It says, what this means for you. If you're posting content, don't post content on YouTube if the purpose is to do one or more of the following: sell firearms or certain firearm accessories through direct sales, i.e., private sales by individuals, or links to sites to sell these items. These accessories may include, and this is where it gets crazy, accessories that enable a firearm to simulate automatic fire. I can understand that. Accessories that convert a firearm to automatic fire, such as bump stops, Gatling triggers, drop-in auto sears and conversion kits, high-capacity magazines or belts carrying more than 30 rounds. Provide instructions on manufacturing any of the following: firearms, ammunition, high-capacity mags, homemade silencers, suppressors, accessories that enable a firearm to simulate automatic fire, accessories that convert a firearm to automatic fire, such as bump stops, Gatling triggers, drop-in auto sears, or conversion kits. Provide instructions on how to convert a firearm to automatic or simulated automatic firing capabilities. Provides instructions on how to install the above-mentioned accessories or modifications. And provides instructions on how to remove certain firearm safety devices, such as devices that limit the release of a magazine. This does not include removal of a device used to temporarily disable a weapon like a gun lock. They're going to age restrict all of this stuff as well. Well, that's where the age restriction stuff is really, really pushing it, in my opinion, but I don't really think it's necessary to read all that. What do you think about all this, man? I mean, because I just like the normal human being in me, especially we have Jackson so close to us. it makes me question a lot of the Second Amendment stuff, the open carry stuff, because Jackson's a fine example of this being taken advantage of.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, well, then of course, then the good guys, you gotta be strapped down in Jacktown to have a puncher's chance against the bad guys who have. I don't have a problem with people having Glock switches, with people having fully automatic weapons, with none of this stuff, you know, used in a responsible manner.
Right. None of us do, but that's just it. They don't. And so that's just, and that's, this is all part of the great agenda. Suffocate us, make our enjoyment of the Second Amendment right so inconvenient that we just simply don't have access to it anymore.
What do you think about what YouTube's doing here? I mean, just on the surface, I mean, this is of course they've been punishing gun people for a while now.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, on the surface, you know, not allowing people to learn how to make or manufacture or customize a gun, and that's what YouTube is for. I mean, whether you agree with any of these things or not, every time, for the most part, when I'm using YouTube for its intended purpose, my searches always start off with how to ...
Yep.
You know, it's the second largest search engine behind only Google, which owns YouTube.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's only going to get worse.
Yeah,
it's only going to get worse. Hunter, you remember the good old days when we could just sell guns on Facebook?
Oh yeah, man! I was the
gun group,
one of the head admins on the new Central Mississippi Gun Trader. That was, man, we were killing it. I think at one point we had like 25,000 members.
Yeah, I moved a lot of guns on that group, just trying different things out early in my gun career. And dude, I never came across someone that was less than favorable. We always did a bill of sale. Like, it was a pretty dang responsible way of moving guns. And then Facebook was like, nope.
Yeah, well, we were they say one bad apple ruins it for everybody, and we were the ones that got it ruined by somebody else. But for Clay, what you were saying on the YouTube stuff, well, I mean, that's a direct infringement of the Second Amendment and the First Amendment. And we were talking about gun shows earlier. One thing I used to like about going to a gun show, and I haven't been to one in a while, I don't know if the guy's still there or not, but there used to be, you could always count on the guy that was there selling books. And it was pretty much everything you mentioned, but in book form.
Yeah.
And you could go in there and buy all kind of cool books.
Make books great again.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's not illegal to have a book that tells you how to convert your AR-15 to an M16. That's not illegal. That's knowledge. You can't. I mean, I don't think you should restrict knowledge.
No.
I mean, everybody's got to learn, but it doesn't mean you're going to do it. I mean, I think pretty much everybody listening just about has all the ingredients, I would assume, in their house to cook meth. Doesn't mean they're going to.
Right. Everybody's got a coat hanger in their closet. Ain't everybody twisting them all up to make a lightning link?
Yeah.
I mean, look, I mean, it's all about self-control, right? I mean, I got enough guns and ammo. Well, it's probably going to get lost in the reservoir later today to go do anything stupid I choose to do. Whether it's with a fully automatic weapon, a home conversion weapon, or
a kitchen knife,
or a kitchen knife, or whatever I have that's perfectly legal in my house. If I decide I want to do some evil stuff,
right,
I'm gonna go do some evil stuff. I don't think preventing people from knowledge is going to prevent people from being evil.
No.
You know, it just doesn't.
But the government thinks they can, and that's the whole purpose of them, is to control the populace. So that's
bad people are going to do bad things because that's what they do. They're bad people.
Exactly. I mean, have y'all not thought about maybe with Facebook groups being what they are, and you're really kind of unable to do this? I know there was some manipulation of it and posting pictures of different things and talking about different things. And just finally just got to where you had to learn a whole nother language to even communicate on them. What about like a Signal or a Signal group or a Telegram group or something like that? There's got to be another way.
Those exist.
Yeah, I would think.
Yeah. There's Facebook Messenger groups.
Yeah.
Because the Facebook Messenger doesn't get...
It's encrypted.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't get...
Allegedly.
Yeah. So even some of our gun groups on Facebook, embedded in the group itself, are sub chats, and those don't get monitored currently, not yet.
Well, they're running AI in the background of stuff, and if they pick up words, phrases, images,
yep.
You know, like I know on Snapchat, I was talking to a kid the other day, and he had posted a picture of a gun on Snapchat, and his account immediately got deleted.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard of anybody's Snapchat getting deleted.
Yeah, the AI image controlling is or auditing, I guess would be a good word for it, is a relatively new thing, and it's going to end up taking over.
Yes, we got some more questions here on the Guns and Gear text line. Cassandra says, in the 90s, I worked with a printing company in Northwest Arkansas that printed the poor man's James Bond books. Sure wish I'd kept copies.
The poor man's James Bond.
That's a excellent, knowledgeable book. I think I have all 3 volumes.
I'm showing my age, but that's before my time.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it, but the name says it all.
Yeah,
you know, it's like kind of how to be the gadget guy.
Yeah,
I think mine are on my bedside.
Go Inspector Gadget.
I have to check that out. But let's circle back to a comment that you made earlier, Tyler. Somebody asked the question. I do want to peel that onion back just a little bit. Without the enhanced concealed, you're not technically supposed to have a gun on the trace?
Yeah, technically. But, I mean, I don't think anybody's going to really give you a hard time about that.
Does the enhanced allow you to have it on the trace?
Yes. Yep. So the gray area is this. Your vehicle is an extension of your home so long as you're occupying it. So you can have a gun in your vehicle on the trace, but technically you're not supposed to go like stop at little stop areas and have it concealed on your person outside of your vehicle. It's a bunch of if-thens and gray area nonsense.
And then state law kind of trumps federal, is what I've been told, as far as like law enforcement. You know, because this is a constant conversation that comes up with the medical marijuana card and the firearm deal, and people have said that you know, state law enforcement is, as long as you have your medical marijuana card, they're not going to enforce they're not going to give you the gun charge if you got pulled over, you know, like on the way home from the dispensary or whatever. Or, you know,
I think it's your freedom either way.
I do too.
The problem is good luck being pulled over by a cop that knows these laws, because I can count on one hand the number of patrol cops I know that are up to my level of gun knowledge of like your own rights in Mississippi.
It's going to be we have gotten so many laws now, and I could go on a whole rant about this. I think we're at the point now where every time they want to create a new one, they should have to take 2 old ones off the book.
I'm down for that.
Let's take a break. Come back. We'll land the plane for the first hour, and we got a whole nother hour to go. We got several other great topics that the guys have come up with for us to talk about. You know, this show though, it is caller, it is listener driven. Whatever you guys want to talk about, let's just keep it on topic today. Guns, Second Amendment questions. We got them all. I got 2 experts here in the studio. If one can't answer it, the other can. Give us a call. The Mazda Jackson phone line, 601-879-0002. The Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. Get out to Burgers Blues Barbecue in Flowood today. Grab breakfast this morning. They're serving breakfast at 10:30. Then, of course, lunch and dinner 6 days a week right there in Dogwood. It's the all-new Burgers Blues Barbecue. Don't forget, this Wednesday night, the champion, the Stevens Brothers, will be performing with the full band live on the patio at the Burgers Blues Barbecue downtown Brandon location. They just won our cordless corner competition. Several of the other performers or contestants from the last few weeks will be performing live with their bands as well. We're super excited about it. It's no cover charge. Bring the whole family out, and we will see you Wednesday. BurgersBlues.com for more information. Caller, stay on hold. We'll come straight back to you after the break. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. We're here live with Hunter Sartain and Tyler Tharp, answering all your gun questions. Tyler is a firearms training expert and with Synergy Synergy Training Group, and Hunter is the owner of Guns and Gear, located right out there in Gluckstadt, Mississippi. We don't have but about a minute left, so I'm just going to kind of filibust here to get us to the break. I timed these breaks out very poorly, so the last one of the hour is always, or the last segment of the hour is always a very, very short one. Guys, we were just talking about overpriced lunches and not getting a lot of bang for your buck. I don't want to roll the establishment under the bus he was just talking about, but Tyler, in 20 seconds or less, tell people what you got and how much you paid for it yesterday at lunch.
Man, I got a super dry chicken thigh, some flavorless green beans and flavorless black eyed peas, and one small strip of fried catfish. No drink, no nothing else, just that for $16.32.
All right, well, that is appalling to me. And if you live in or around Gluckstadt, or you're going to be around there, you can go by Johnny's Pizza, and you can eat a single topping 8-inch pizza for $6.99 with a drink, an 8-inch specialty pizza for $9.49 with a drink, or you can get the Sweep the Kitchen. That's their version of the Supreme, an 8-inch for $9.49 with a drink. And they got some sandwich and muffaletta combos starting as low as $5.99 at Johnny's Pizza Shack, located right over there by in Gluckstadt by Mack Hike dealerships. Boom goes the dynamite. It's hour 2 of the most incendiary show on the radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I'm, of course, Clay Edwards. This segment brought to you by my friends and yours over at A1 Gear and Auto, Florence, Mississippi, Highway 49 South. I ran into Mr. Justin Nelson, the owner himself. What was it? Friday, I think. Yeah, Friday after the show, I ran down to Country Pleasin' to pick up a couple things that they got there. Man, I love their bacon. Best bacon in the world right there in Florence, Mississippi. I went and bought 5 pounds of bacon. And the bacon fat's what's so dang good from it, because I like to save my bacon fat to cook other stuff with. And it's amazing what you can get away with on keto. Like bacon, I eat bacon to lose weight. Anyway, ran into Justin down there, man. Just good old folks, man. You're doing business with a local guy that I just think it's important that shops local and puts his money back in his community. Just good people, man. Of course, they can work on your vehicle. There's nothing you can't think of they can't do. The only thing they don't work on is diesel engines. They'll will refer you to somebody else. We have another sponsor here at the station, Mayo Auto Clinic. They specialize in diesel engine repair, so check them out if you need to. But if you need anything else from a check engine light, your air conditioner not blowing cold, front end issues, rear end, ring and pinion, of course, is what they specialize in. Check them out today. A1 Gear and Auto, Florence, Mississippi, locally owned, locally operated. Speaking of locally owned, we got Hunter Sartain here with Guns and Gear. Hunter, I was talking a minute ago about Mazda Jackson and how the owners work the sales desk. You work that counter too.
I do, yeah.
And
I try to stay in there as much as I am able.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you get a lot of interesting questions, and it's like just something nice about meeting the owner's hand, shaking the owner's hand, and meeting them when you do business with them, and it just it turns a transactional situation into a personable situation. Mm-hmm. And like people they like to do business with people that they know, walk in, know their name, you remember their name, whatnot. And that little stuff goes a long way. We got to get back as a society to supporting small businesses as much as possible. Don't get me wrong. I understand there's with what Walmart's done and businesses like Walmart with pricing and supply chain stuff, it's hard to not do business with them.
Yep.
Amazon, etc. But when you need a certain type of service, a certain type of product, and you need somebody that's knowledgeable to go along with it, it's just something about buying local and buying from a guy that knows guns. When we're talking about guns here,
Yep.
It just makes a difference. And the folks you have working for you are equally as knowledgeable, if not more. Because all they got to focus on is that. They don't have to worry about the business side of things as much. So it just means a lot to go in, break bread with the owner of a place. So I think kudos to you, man.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Let's before we dive into one of our next topics, let's hit a few questions on the text line, the Guns and Gear text line. Let's see here. Unknown texter says, if we are a constitutional carry state, why then do we need a firearm permit without enhanced carry?
You don't.
Why pay for renew? Yeah.
You don't. It helps you if you travel out of state because of reciprocity. But even then, you still need the enhancement for full-on reciprocity in most places.
Yeah. So it's still worth getting.
If you travel. If you never go out of state of Mississippi, then no, don't waste your time or money. But again, there's a lot of reasons to get the enhanced portion. Like, so if you wanted to go to your kids' sporting events and not catch a criminal charge for having a gun on you, or if you want to carry at your church, same thing. If you want to be on your church security team and be protected under the Church Protection Act, there's certain boxes you have to check to be under that. One of those is having an enhanced carry permit. So
now, you offer church security training?
Yeah, 100 site-specific training, active shooter training. Yep, all sorts of security high-end group training.
How can people get in touch with you if they want to reach out about any kind of training?
Yeah, easiest way is synergyshooting.com. Hit up the contact page. You can also feel free to send me a message on Facebook, Tyler D. Tharp, or Synergy Training Group, and Instagram as well, Synergy Training Group.
Sorry, good. Another question here. Tyler, this is probably going to be one more for you. It says, if your permit card says instructor certified, does that mean enhanced carry?
Yes, ma'am. Yep, sure does. Instructor certified, the IC endorsement or sticker, if you still somehow have that super old card, is what they refer to as the endorsement.
Okay, good deal. Charles here asked a question. Says, can't have access to ammo and guns at the same time. Ammo must be separated in trunk. I got caught in 2000 and had to go to federal court, pled guilty to possession of bottle rocket a friend's son left in my map pocket months earlier. Ranger threw the book at me with 8 charges.
Federal. So he's probably talking about being on the Natchez Trace.
Maybe so. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yep. That's not the way anymore.
Yeah, sure hope not.
No, yeah, it's incredibly stupid. Now it's still that way. If you go to Illinois, you have to have your gun and ammo in separate compartments of the vehicle. California, Oregon, Washington, New Hampshire, New Jersey, places like that rule still exists, but those are communist states. I mean,
I'm telling you, today I am today years old that I found out you're not supposed to have a gun on the Natchez Trace.
Yeah. Again, your vehicle is an extension of your home, and you could fight that and win.
Yeah, it's just like. But here's the thing: there's a saying that we all commit about 2.5 felonies a day.
We just don't know.
We just don't know that we do it.
Law is written in lawyer. It ain't written in, like, they use English words, but like we speak redneck and country, and ain't none of those types of languages in the law. I'm going through a 2-month class right now. It's every Wednesday night, and then I have to do mock trials and sit back seat on a real trial as well to become an expert witness for use of force criminal law.
Interesting. Hunter, got a question for you here. Unknown texter. Are guns an investment? My husband seems to think they are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One word. Yes, of course they are.
That is one of the best investments your husband could make. Not only in the physical aspects of the firearm, but having guns, he's also investing in your safety because he loves you. And you need to remember that.
And they're only going to go up in value.
Yeah, I mean, unless you just absolutely take one and beat it to death and destroy it, yeah, I mean, they're going to either hold their value or go up in value. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And speaking on the enhanced carry stuff a second ago, if you want to be able to walk into a gun store and buy a gun and not have to go through the NICS check, you still have to fill out the paperwork, but you don't have to sit there and wait to get approved by the FBI to purchase a gun. That, unfortunately, happens a lot. Is people will come in and say we see them a lot, truck drivers, that they come in on a Tuesday, they're headed out on a Wednesday, and they wanted to buy a gun. They come in, they buy a gun, and then boom, they get delayed. Well, they're not going to be back in town for 2 or 3 weeks. And that's not our fault. That's not really their fault. That's the FBI delaying them because they have a common name or their social's 2 digits off from somebody that's a felon or whatever. But if you have a concealed carry permit, that acts as your background check. You still fill out the 4473, but you do not have to go through the background check process. And also it helps sometimes when the NICS system, the FBI background check system, is down sometimes. And when that goes down, that's completely out of our control. We can't help it, but and it happens way more than one would think.
Yep.
But having that, you can come in, buy a gun, pay, and fill out the paperwork, and away you go.
That is a great point because, I mean, I've purchased several guns from you, and you would just think that the FBI would have a database, or their database would communicate with itself, and say this guy just bought a gun 3 months ago. He hasn't gotten a felony since. He's good to go. But no, I've never had the ability to walk out of the store with a gun that day. It is always it takes what 3 to 4 days a week sometimes. It's just whatever there is no rhyme or reason to any of it.
Yeah, the standard is 3 business days, not counting weekends, obviously business days, and the day. So, like, if you went and came and bought a gun on Tuesday and you got delayed, it'd be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before you could pick it up.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to delay people who haven't filed taxes, who are owe taxes. I'm shocked that they haven't tried to make it more difficult than it already is. I mean, I guess it's just.
Please don't give them that idea.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. Kenneth on the Guns and Gear text line asks, what are the benefits of a security firearm permit?
There's no difference. It's the same application. It's the same thing. I don't know why Mississippi has a distinguishment between the two, but it's quite literally the same paperwork. It's even the same fee.
But if I'm not mistaken, I think a security guard permit only allows you to carry while working as a security guard, I think.
But we're a constitutional carry state.
Well, yes. But
that's
what they say.
A firearms permit card doesn't actually alleviate anything. It's null and void. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's kind of, whatever. But if I remember correctly, that's what the wording said.
Yeah, and again, we're a constitutional carry state, so it cancels itself out.
Yeah. Yeah, it would.
Good job, government, making no sense.
See, this is the kind of stuff I like when we actually work our way into something like this, like shows like this cancels itself out. Great job, government. Let's see here, man. A couple more questions. They're kind of coming on in now. I knew that's what would happen here. Right.
Bring them on.
Let's see here. Shoko Defense LLC says, let's see here. An enhanced carry instructor. He goes, I'm an enhanced carry instructor. Mm-hmm. I have a question about how deeply you go into detail about the laws and justifiable homicide. Also, how do you clear up people's questions on open carry laws and the constitutional carry? And the name of his company is Shoko Defense LLC.
Yeah, so great question. And as you know, the state requirement for the enhanced carry class is an 8-hour class. 4 hours must be in classroom with an approved curriculum, which is the NRA firearms something defense inside the home. I don't remember. And then United States Concealed Carry Administration's fundamentals, something else. It's USDAF or something like that. And of that 4 hours, 1 hour must be spent talking about Mississippi law. And then you have to spend 4 hours on the range, and then you also have to have a written test and a shooting test. Now, outside of that, they don't tell you what type of test to have. They don't tell you what qualification standard is required. They don't have a course of fire mandated like Tennessee or Arkansas or any other place. That's pretty much it. And they don't even tell you exactly what to say while talking about Mississippi law. They pretty much hope you know enough to educate your students on it. Steven Sambalia used to have a video out back when Cliff Cargill was alive, and they teamed up.
Rest in peace, Cliff, man.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great video. I wish there was an updated version of it, but they created this video and sold it to supplement that 1 hour. So if you're not confident teaching an hour's worth of law information, you just play the video. Over time, you will honestly be able to recite that stuff forward and backwards, and then you'll just be able to integrate it into the regular 4-hour teaching in the classroom, and you won't need it anymore. But that's an easy cheat code if you can find that.
Interesting. All right, man, the questions are coming on in now, or comments, should I say. Kenneth again says, sorry, y'all. It just takes a second sometimes with this app.
And open carry, open carry / constitutional carry is all the same.
I tell you what, we got a phone call on the Miles Jackson phone line, so we will move the phone call to the front of the line. Hey, good morning. You're on there.
Good morning, Clay. Big Ed on this end. I talked to you about a week or two ago about guns, and I wanted to reiterate this information to the public that the Mississippi has a set of forms to fill out if you want to sell a private individual a weapon. And what it does is it protects you from liability if that weapon is used in a crime by somebody after you've transferred the weapon.
That's good to know.
It's about a 4 or 5 page form that you have to fill out, and I think you have to get it notarized. but it actually protects you once you release your weapon to somebody else, where you sell it to them on the street, in a gun show, or even in a gun shop. You should probably get this paperwork done to relieve your own liability of releasing that weapon to somebody else.
Where can you get that
Just thought I'd throw
paperwork?
it Sir?
Where can you get that paperwork?
It's actually online, believe it or not. It's under Mississippi State. Don't ask me which department it would be under, but I'm sure somebody in one of your co-guys on there may know about it. If not, that's where I found it, because I transferred some weapons like that, and now I don't sweat at night worrying about somebody using that gun that I sold somebody. So it's well worth your time. It may cost you a little money to pay for a notary or whatever, but it's a good thing to do for somebody to keep yourself protected, even though you don't have the weapon anymore.
Good information, brother. Thank you, man.
Okay, bud. Y'all have a great day. Good talking to you. Bye.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back. We're going to get to some topics we actually planned, but man, I will jump down a rabbit hole so quick with these texts and
Give
stuff.
the people what they want, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so. All right, well, we got some more questions, and we got a few topics I want to hit too. So we'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show with Tyler Tharp and Hunter Sartain doing a Second Amendment roundtable today. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show here live on 103.9 FM WYAB. Guys, don't forget, coming up next at 9 o'clock, it's the Chip Matthews extravaganza. Don't forget, Chip has Acme Pizza and Daiquiris located right out there at Fannin Mart on the reservoir, right on the Rankin County side of the res, located right in front of the bowling alley there at Fannin Lanes. Get over there and try one of their 12 different specialty pizzas, 9 different frozen daiquiris, dine-in, carry-out, delivery. They offer everything that you could imagine right there. Everything made from scratch, fresh toppings, even the smoked pork that they put on the pizza is smoked fresh on site. Can't beat it. Check them out today. Try the dynamite balls. Maybe you're not even into pizza. The dynamite balls are phenomenal. It is the fresh smoked pulled pork wrapped around some cream cheese, deep fried, and then drizzled with some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. You won't regret it. That's all I got to say. Try it. Check them out today. 4 p.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. Live entertainment on the weekends. Never a cover charge. Acme Pizza and Daiquiris. And stay tuned to WYAB at 9 o'clock and hear Chip's radio show. He is a like-minded individual fighting the good fight. All right, here in the studio, speaking of fighting the good fight, got Tyler Tharp, Synergy Training Group. I got Hunter Sartain, owner of Guns and Gear. And, man, the Guns and Gear text line is just on fire today with some great questions. But first, we got a caller. I'm sorry. But first, we got a caller on the Mazda of Jackson phone line. Hey, thanks for staying on hold. You're on there.
No problem. Just real quick question. I know this probably been beat ad nauseum, but how does medical marijuana affect Mississippi gun carry laws? I mean, I'm to the point where I'm actually considering it, and I want to know what rights and et cetera I might be forfeiting. I'll let you guys take it from there.
Thank you, brother. I'm glad you asked that because I did want to get to it. All right.
Yep. So the law says prohibited person includes those that are a habitual user of drugs and alcohol. Now, the thing is, they got to prove it because you're innocent until you're proven guilty. So it's still technically a gray area.
Yeah, but I mean, if you have I've done so many shows about this. If you have the permit, you're kind of self-admitting that you're a user.
Habitual user.
Yep.
But it's medical.
But it's exactly. They're going to have to address this, and I think it's been addressed.
They're going to have to reclarify it.
I think it's been addressed in this Fifth Circuit decision on that case from down on the Gulf Coast where a guy got. I don't remember the exact details, but I thought they're supposed to be doing away with this, and I bet you after this Hunter Biden fiasco, that question goes away. I can't imagine that it survives this, but as of right now, technically, you can't. You can't have both. But all the conversations I've had with law enforcement, they are not going to enforce that here because your rights in Mississippi, that's a federal thing. Mm-hmm. That's not a state law. So state cops aren't local police, ranking deputies, none of that. Highway patrol, they're not enforcing that because it's not our laws in Mississippi. Right. But if you get on the trace and a park ranger pulls you over, they could.
I mean, I think it's still going to become a thing. Patrol has become such a money grab thing these days anyway. Like, for case in point, seatbelt tickets. That is purely money profiteering.
Yeah.
Like you're not hurting anyone but yourself. So if they can figure out a way of creating a legal for a fee type of situation, they're going to make that happen.
Yeah, I agree. I do. But where they get you at is, man, don't lie on that form, because I'm telling you, they're going to figure out a way for those two things to talk.
Yep.
And if you're in the system over here with that medical marijuana card and you click no over here when you go to buy that gun, eventually they're going to figure out a way for these things to talk.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm guessing if you mark yes, you're a user, it's an automatic turn down on this thing.
Correct.
You know, so they're putting people in a situation, and that's where the owner to owner sales, or person to person sales becomes. Then it's not illegal. So it's a really weird. It's not illegal to buy a gun and be a habitual user, but it's illegal to buy a new gun and be a habitual user. It's really weird to me.
Yeah. As far as the gun buying side of it, where I personally stand on it is, it's none of my business what kind of medicine you take. You're a grown adult.
Exactly.
That can make their own decisions. I'm not going to ask you if you have a medical marijuana card any more than I'm going to ask you, hey, do you take high blood pressure medicines or something? It's none of my business, and I don't care. If you lie on that form, that doesn't affect me. That affects you. But I don't know if you're lying or not. But yes, if you did mark yes, you would automatically that would end the sale right there. You couldn't go any further.
Yep.
But I'm not asking. Nobody that works for me is going to ask you, because it's none of our business.
Yeah, I'm way more concerned. You being addicted, or not addicted, just a medical user, a recreational user of marijuana, I'm way more concerned about people who were strung out on not even strung out, but people who were having to take SSRIs for depression. And again, I mean, you can look at the track record, not to drag y'all into this. This is just my personal ranting here. You look back at the most recent mass shootings, the last 12, 13, 14, every one in the history of schools, all those kids were on SSRIs. I think I'm way more concerned about people on prescribed antidepressants than I am people smoking pot.
Yeah, I can speak directly to that, because I was taking 100 grams of Zoloft every day for a year and a half straight, and went through withdrawals, basically cold turkey off the back end of that. Was the worst mental state I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah, congratulations on being able to get over that, man. That's one of the hardest things to get off of, I'm told.
Yeah, it was
right up there with opioids and everything.
It was miserable.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not attacking people who are on SSRIs. I don't think y'all are the problem. I think it's the medicine is the problem.
Yeah, and doctors that just want to throw a pill at everything.
Yep. Oh, there's a pill for that.
Yeah.
Let's see here, man. Let's hit a couple questions here before we take our next break. Does that fall under HIPAA? Well, I guess that.
No, it doesn't, because I'm not a healthcare provider
or an employee.
Nor any of my employees.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Lost Sheep says, I've bought a lot of guns and never had to wait. I do not have a carry permit. Well, you are a rare individual.
Oddly enough, same here. Before I got my carry permit years ago, I never had to deal with a wait or anything like that. And I used to work at a gun store, so I do understand how the process works. And I would say half or more. How many did you say, Hunter? Half or more are an immediate approval?
Yeah, most are. The ones that usually get delayed, it's going to be your common last names, your Jones, your Smiths, stuff like that, especially if your name is, say, Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
I mean, how many Tyler Smiths are in the United States
All
with the
of them.
same birthday as yours, that their social might be 2 or 3 digits off?
I did see a lot of active military, active law enforcement, guys like that having to get a delay for some reason.
Yes. Yeah, that they say with some top secret security clearances they'll get delayed. And all it means when delayed is usually the computer is auto generating a response. When it is a delay, that allows an actual human being to go in and look at it and verify that you are the person you say you are, because the person that might have caused the flag might be a felon or whatnot, and they're making sure you're not that person.
All right, a little bit into the Clay Edwards show side of things here. The Form 4473 must check male, female, non-binary.
Yeah, I remember when they changed that a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting. I've never had that happen, but literally the federal government gives us the right to, I guess it goes back to with those bakers, like not bake the cake. They give us the right to legally discriminate because what is on your driver's license has to match what you put on your form.
Right.
Mississippi does not accept non-binary. It's either male or female, and that's it. It's male or female. So if you do mark non-binary, which we've never had that happen,
Yet.
I couldn't sell you a gun.
Is it an immediate conversation point on every application when a good old Mississippi boy gets to non-binary? Like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, that does.
I mean, I know I brought it up last time I was there.
Yeah, a lot of people say, "What is a non-binary?" And I used to tell them, "If you don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't know, you ain't it."
They don't know no more than you do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Let's see here. It's Pride Month. Let's see. Kenneth says again.
Stokes?
No.
Oh, dang it.
No, this is Kenneth Flowers. I'm just going to kind of start at the top of this. He goes, what's the benefit of a security firearm permit? I think we answered that. And it says it states that it is only valid during duty hours. The security firearm permit. That's interesting.
Yeah, but again, it's a constitutional carry state, so it doesn't. It's got to be just a money grab because it's a $132 ordeal. So it's just got to be about the money. I can't think of any other reason.
I think it came about before the
Before,
Constitution.
yeah, had to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. We
And just never did away with it.
Yeah, because we had armed security at the clubs, and I personally don't never remember this even being a conversation because our armed security was law enforcement. So I guess that superseded.
Well, they're off duty, yeah. So they don't need it.
Yeah, and again, most people wouldn't have known that it wasn't even a thing to need it, to ask, to enforce.
Yep.
In closing, his last comment was, "But if you get delayed, they will notify the local sheriff." I guess the FBI notifies local sheriff if there's a delay. Is that true?
No.
Not that I am aware of.
Your local head of law enforcement, whether it's sheriff or police chief, used to have to be notified or sign off when you got suppressors, any NFA item.
Yes.
Is that still a thing?
No, that was law enforcement certification. Now it's law enforcement notification.
Yeah. Because my first can I bought from you, it was an Omega like freaking 10 years ago now, or almost 10 years ago, and I had to go get Sheriff Martin Pace when I was in Warren County or someone from his office to sign it.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm just going to mention this in closing in case this person's still listening. The other person who says they teach enhanced carry instructor.
Yeah, ShowCon.
I'm going to get you all in touch with each other because he's got some more detailed questions.
One of the things on my website, if you go look at services provided, it's in instructor development. So rock on, man.
Tell them your website again.
SynergyShooting.com.
SynergyShooting.com. We'll be right back on the Clay Edwards Show with Tyler Tharp with Synergy Solutions. SynergyShooting.com. We're just going to do that.
Yeah, there you go.
SynergyShooting.com and Hunter Sartain, Guns and Gear. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, let's dive straight in. I will do the ad read at the end of the segment here. A couple years ago, the greatest mayor in all of America, the mayor of the most radical city in America, the mayor who may end up being a felon here sooner rather than later, allegedly, and wouldn't be able to carry a firearm anyway, decided that Jackson, Mississippi, the deadliest city in America, should not have people in the Jackson, Mississippi, should not have their open carry rights. I don't agree with him on any level on anything, but there is a portion of me as a Jacksonian or the former Jacksonian that understands. I don't even know how to say this right, but I understand saying, look, man, there's a group of people who are wildly irresponsible gun owners.
Yeah.
They're only doing this because they want to look like thugs.
Right.
You know, they're running around. And now you can't stop and frisk either.
Right.
You know, it's like, how do you police that? I mean, I never think the mayor's heart's in the right place. I think he wasn't trying to protect their rights or trying to protect them from killing each other. He was trying to protect us from protecting ourselves from them.
Yeah.
But in a perfect world, if we're going to have a real talk about responsible gun, common sense gun laws and stuff, what do we do in a city like Jackson? I mean, do you have some kind of gun control? But then you got to sit here and say, well, the bad guys are never going to follow the law. If you've made the decision that you're going to shoot somebody, you really don't give a damn about the gun law that prevents that. I mean, it's like, how do you police it without suppressing people's rights?
You can't.
Yeah, it's already, the laws are there. I'd say, Clay, I'll ask you this. What is there now up in Jackson?
53
homicides. How many of those were done by somebody under the age of 18?
I would say over half.
Over half.
Just guessing.
Under the age of 18, you can't possess a gun, period.
Yeah.
So there's that right there alone. That's illegal.
And if you're under 21, you can't have a pistol on you.
Let's clear this up, because I thought you can have a long gun.
Not under the age of 18.
Yeah, you can't legally possess anything under 18.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can't legally carry a pistol until you're 21. Now, you can own a pistol inside your home, and a vehicle is technically an extension of your home as long as you're occupying it, but you can't have it concealed on your person until you're 21.
That is correct.
Or on your person at all, really.
So 16, 17-year-old kid going up to deer camp can't have a
No, that's different. Your own private property, with an adult.
Well, what if he's driving himself up there and the gun's in his vehicle? Is that illegal?
That's going to
technically.
Yeah, it just depends on how much that cop wants to be a butthead.
God, man, I know every old white guy says this, but I just remember going back and black people too. I don't know why I said white there. I was thinking about where I went to school.
Yeah,
Byram, but all the old white guys there all had gun racks.
Dude, the elementary school I went to, Redwood Elementary, had an annual turkey shoot. They encourage you to bring shotguns to school and come shoot in the back guns. of the gun or the campus.
They raffle guns.
Yeah, straight up. They gave us the ammo. They even supplied the ammo.
Yeah, a lot of private schools now are doing that. I know MRA has a sporting clays team. I know Canton Academy does. I think Tri-County does.
Look, I've been a advocate of Jackson Public Schools having marksman classes. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to start them young. But I think if nothing else, you start teaching these kids at a young age actually how to shoot at the target they're shooting at. You'll eliminate a bunch of innocent people getting shot at gas stations.
Yep.
They can actually hit the person they're trying to hit. Or in these drive-by shootings, maybe teach them some mobile drive-by classes and where they can get more accuracy. And maybe a 7-year-old girl won't get shot like she did last week in Jackson.
Convoy live fire.
Yeah, I'm just trying to help.
Bless.
These are the people who seem to be having the hardest problem with this. These inner city public school systems. Let's try to teach them instead of shop. Let's put marksman classes in there.
Yeah, good luck getting those types of kids to stay in school anyway.
No doubt. All right, so I guess at the end of the day, it's just got to be more policing.
Yeah,
that's the answer to the question. Is I think you allow stop and frisk for one thing, and if somebody, to me, if you see somebody open carry, you should automatically be able to walk up to them and say, "Let me see your ID." Mm-hmm. Are you old enough? If they're questionably young looking, I mean, that
professional profiling has to be a thing,
and then start arresting them.
Yeah,
we absolutely had to bring back profiling.
Yeah,
100%.
So the thing is, man, those kids, they see going to jail as a badge of honor, though. It's like, oh, that adds street cred. Yeah, let's go to jail.
Well, I don't argue that, but I can't think of a better solution.
What, jail?
Jail.
Yeah.
I mean, other than lining them up along a brick wall, but I mean, I don't want that shouldn't be the punishment for owning a gun. For illegally possessing a gun. I mean, it's got to be jail. I don't want more people tied up in the system either. I don't think probation is it. I think probation's a joke. I think that's talk about hustles.
Yeah,
for the state hustles, that's a hustle. Yeah. Forcing you to show up every 2 weeks to pee in a cup that you got to pay for, to pay the fines, all that stuff. That's a hustle, and rarely does that actually help.
I don't know enough on the side of criminal things. I try to stay on the side of helping law-abiding citizens like me. So I have my conjecture-driven opinions, but that's really all I got.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to drag y'all down that rabbit hole. But just thinking out loud here.
Yeah,
I think you got to get back to real policing, and I think with the new police chief as much as his handcuffs are still golden handcuffs. I think the mayor has a lot to do with why we have the problems we have in Jackson. Yeah. I think Capitol Police helps offset that because they're their boss is a conservative, the governor.
Yep.
And the mayor is and the chief. Not to get into his politics, but the mayor is a anti-police Marxist.
Anti-freedom.
Yep. The only thing they want free is money and land.
Yeah. They're very socialist.
Very, very free to land, free to people.
I think Kenneth Stokes has been right about the mayor for a while.
I wouldn't know. I can't understand anything he says.
Well, I'll say this to Hunter's point. There was a time that I hated Kenneth Stokes. I despised him. And over the last 4 or 5 years, Kenneth Stokes is experiencing a hero arc. He kind of went from a villain to kind of a hero arc, and it's simply because I don't think Kenneth Stokes has changed. I think everything around him's gotten so bad that he's just so consistent.
He played the numbers game.
Yeah, it's like they say a lot of people nowadays, a lot of left-leaning liberal people, they're calling them conservatives now. I don't think that's the case. I think those guys like your Bill Maher's of the world, your Sean York-Crons of the world, Tim Pool, some of these people that are what I consider like classically liberal, I don't think they changed at all. I think the left went so far left that the point of center moved with it, and if you're still here now, you're a right winger. But you're like, I'm not a right winger. I'm more classically liberal, And I think that's what's happened with Stokes, is he kind of stayed in the spot, and everything went so far left that now Stokes looks like he has common sense. Which they say he's actually a really smart guy. He's kind of playing.
Yeah, he's actually an attorney, I believe.
Yeah, they say
he still tell people to throw rocks at cops.
I hadn't heard that one in a while, but that will be his legacy.
And bricks and whatnot. Well,
bricks, rocks, and bottles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that will be his legacy. As of right now, you can always rewrite it, but for the most part, that will be his legacy. There's a chance if all the dominoes fall like they could. Stokes could be your next mayor of Jackson until a special election. Let's take a break on that. We'll be right back with Tyler Tharp and Hunter Sartain here on the Clay Edwards Show. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. Guys, we got just a couple minutes left here. I want to thank Hunter Sartain, owner of Guns and Gear. Guys, get over there and support a great locally owned gun store. I mentioned it earlier. We beat this horse to death here about locally owned businesses supporting the small guy. You get an opportunity, you walk in there. Usually Hunter's going to be behind the counter, or he's working on guns, or he's there every day doing stuff. When all hell breaks loose around here, Hunter's also one of the first people to donate his time and resources to helping. And, I've seen him do it. What's the name of that big truck thing you have?
My 5-ton, M923A2.
Man, well, he helped rescue people when there was flooding in Jackson. I'm just telling you, he's that guy. He buys pallets of water to help people whenever he can. He took pallets of water up to the tornado stuff in
Rolling Fork, yeah.
Rolling Fork. I mean, when you support local, that's what you get. These are the guys you go and you ask for to sponsor your T-ball teams, your fundraisers, all that. Walmart don't do that. So get out there to Guns and Gear. Check them out online, gunsandgearms.com. Tyler, we got less than a minute. Tell everybody how to find you.
Yep, synergyshooting.com is the easiest way. Hit up that contact page, man. If you have a church security group that wants more than just qualification training, more than just that minimum standard checkbox, I am your guy.
synergyshooting.com. Tyler Tharp, and he's got a contact page on there as well. If you got any questions, don't hesitate. Reach out to him. Find him on Facebook. Go follow the new Guns and Gear Facebook page. It's just at G&G.
That's it.
Just at G&G. That's the new Facebook page. Let's help him get his numbers back up. Follow him for those deals of the day. I will see y'all tomorrow. Chip Matthews up next.